Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right in. Today, we're heading to a place defined by a truly breathtaking, but, profoundly bittersweet contrast. We're exploring the stunning landscapes and the really heavy history of Kanchanaburi, Thailand.
To guide us, we're pulling directly from the incredible Discovered Thailand Province by Province series by KnowThai. And this perfectly sets up what we're doing today, a documentary-style deep dive. We're looking way past the typical tourism postcards to uncover the actual heartbeat of this destination.
So, let's set the scene a bit. If you're familiar with Thailand, you know Bangkok is all about that chaotic, vibrant energy, right? And Chiang Mai, up north, that's your serene calm. But Kanchanaburi, it serves a totally different purpose. Kanchanaburi is basically Thailand's living memory.
Now, there's this fascinating paradox here. So many visitors show up in Kanchanaburi expecting a simple, carefree eco-resort vacation. They want to hike lush jungles, take a boat ride, snap a few photos, but the historical reality? Beneath that vibrant green canopy, they're actually walking right on top of one of the most brutal, concentrated human tragedies of World War II.
Just let's take a second to look at this number. Over 100,000. The very ground you walk on out there, and the scenic railway lines you might even ride on, well, they were built on the lives of over 100,000 Allied prisoners of war and Asian laborers. They tragically perished trying to conquer literally impossible terrain for the occupying forces. It's just a staggering human cost.
And that brings us to the actual scars on the land.
Any journey through this history almost always starts right here, the iconic bridge on the River Kwai. Made famous by Hollywood, obviously, but today it stands as this stark monument of dark tourism. There's an undeniably heavy atmosphere because you're standing on something that is simultaneously a bustling tourist attraction and a solemn mass gravesite. Actually, here's a really surprising fact that most foreign visitors completely miss. If you look at those dark steel spans today, well, they aren't the original bridge. The original wooden bridges were actually heavily bombed by the Allies during the war. Those steel spans you see now, they were brought all the way from Java later on as war reparations. Crazy, right?
To really feel the weight of this province, you kind of have to experience it viscerally. Just imagine stepping inside a local, creaky wooden train car and riding along the surviving sections of the Death Railway. The absolute most dramatic moment happens at the Whampoa Viaduct. The train literally hugs the side of a sheer cliff face on these incredibly fragile-looking wooden trestles, with the river just rushing directly below you.
Sure, it's incredibly scenic to look at, but when you look closer at those solid rock walls that were carved out entirely by hand, by the way, you're faced with this haunting quote, "One life for every sleeper rail laid." It is a chilling reminder of the extreme brutality, the disease, and the starvation these workers endured, just trying to connect Thailand to Burma through thick, unforgiving jungle.
As we head deeper into the jungle, we arrive at what I'd call the deepest silence, Hellfire Pass. This is widely considered the most moving World War II memorial in all of Asia. You actually walk down into this narrow canyon of solid rock that was completely 100% cleared by prisoners.
And the name itself has a pretty harrowing origin. Emaciated prisoners were forced to work through the dead of night using absolutely nothing but hand drills and picks. Picture them working under the flickering, harsh light of torches, casting these long shadows that made the whole scene look quite literally like a vision straight out of hell.
Today, the actual railway tracks at Hellfire Pass are gone. In their place is just a quiet walking path, right between those massive stone walls. When you stand there, the profound, respectful silence, it really allows you to feel the history just hanging in the air. You aren't just learning about the past here, you are literally walking through living history.
But nature has an incredible way of healing the land. So let's shift gears and look at nature's healing equilibrium. Tucked away in the national park, Kanchanaburi offers this incredible space for reflection through a super fresh, uplifting environment. It really shows how the ancient jungle can offer a beautiful balance between that heavy history and natural rejuvenation.
So what does this healing process actually look like? Well, at the world-famous Erawan waterfall, you hike up these incredibly lush jungle trails. You get to marvel at spectacular 7-tiered cascades, and you can swim in these stunning emerald green pools. Now, what's really fascinating here is that the water flows over smooth limestone rocks. This actually prevents the water from getting muddy, so those pools stay absolutely crystal clear. Swimming right alongside the local fish in these cool, refreshing pools provides just a profound sense of peace. Honestly, it's as if the ancient jungle itself is gently soothing the scars of the past, offering travelers a real chance to reflect and find their own equilibrium after absorbing such heavy, heavy history. After a long day of walking through both history and nature, we've got to bring ourselves back to the present moment for some evening reflection. And that's where we discover the wild flavors of the River Kwai. We're talking local cuisine deeply rooted in the surrounding wilderness, served up slowly on these floating wooden decks right beside the quiet, whispering river. Let's dive into these local ingredients so you can really get a sense of what we're talking about here. The famous local jungle curry features fresh river fish, caught literally straight from the currents. And notice what's missing: no coconut milk at all. Instead, it is absolutely packed with fiery wild herbs and local green peppercorns picked right from the forest, all cooked over open flames. It's a game changer.
So the real takeaway here is a bit philosophical. You know, sometimes the most memorable meal isn't the most expensive one in some fancy high-end restaurant. It's a simple, local, deeply historic meal, shared in quiet reflection, sitting right beside a river that has witnessed so much time passing by.
Now, I want you to think back to that tourist we talked about at the very beginning, the one just expecting a standard eco-resort vacation. By the end of this journey, that traveler is standing quietly by the water, completely captivated by the shadows of the iron tracks. They realize, probably for the first time, that this province is a story far, far beyond just pretty scenery. And this beautifully brings us to the core KnowThai takeaway, and it carries some profound emotional weight. Quote, "Bridges can be rebuilt, railways can be repaired, forests can grow again, but our greatest responsibility is remembering." End quote. That right there is why Kanchanaburi matters so much. It's all about honoring the people who never made that journey home. Because at the end of the day, true exploration means looking way past the postcards and the generic guidebooks. Every single place deserves to be understood. Uncovering that living memory beneath the surface, well, that's what turns a simple trip into a truly transformative experience.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Kanchanaburi. But hey, the adventure definitely doesn't stop here. In our next explainer, we're leaving the mountains behind and heading south to Surat, Thani to explore Thailand's legendary Gateway Islands, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. Before we sign off though, I want to leave you with this one thought. If the ground you walk on every single day could speak, what hidden histories of resilience and memory would it tell you? Keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.